Another alert now. Back to Washington we roll. Any moment now, President Trump will leave the White House. He'll be there to speak to a crowd of supporters protesting his election loss. Many of them disappointed at Republican Kelly Loeffler's defeat in the Georgia Senate race. Another one right now, too close to call. Guy Benson, Fox News contributor, host of the Guy Benson Show podcast, and Leslie Marshall, also a Fox News contributor. Welcome, team. Nice to see you both. Guy, I'll begin with you. Set the table. Where do you think we have moved about 40 minutes before the noon hour, the day after the two runoffs?
Well, we have a lot of Republicans who are frustrated across the country. Some of them view President Trump and his agenda and his style as the solution. Some of them view it as the problem. And that's an internal fight within the Republican Party that I don't think is going to really go away anytime soon. But I think the reality is starting to sink in today. Number one, that the Senate majority is now going to be in Democratic hands. Chuck Schumer, Kamala Harris breaking ties. That is a very bitter pill to swallow, especially to have both of those races swept in Georgia. And then, despite a lot of the anger among Trump supporters who are going to be voicing their concerns in the streets, and we're going to hear from the president, of course, it's going to be a dramatic day on Capitol Hill. The writing's on the wall. We know what the outcome is here because the math just isn't there. Even if the Republicans were to think it was a good idea to object and try to block the certification, they don't have the votes. It's going to be a bipartisan, pretty overwhelming vote in favor of adopting the count, which is the real count that Joe Biden won. So it is not a happy day in Republican world. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing and recriminations, I think, for quite some time. And it will be a journey to see if the party can figure out where to land ahead of a winnable election 2 years from now.
Leslie?
I would agree, actually, with almost everything Guy said. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Guy, then. There's the New Year's present.
Thanks,
Here,
Leslie.
Look, Republicans are to blame for this. Donald Trump is to blame for this. And the Republican Party has to look at the change. You know, Martha McCallum said it very well just a few minutes ago on this program, which is you have to look at the change of the demographics of a state like Georgia. You have 25% new voters among African Americans, and you have 18% new voters among Hispanics. All of those voters came of age since the last general election years ago. So Georgia is not the only state where the demographics change. This is going to be a reality to Republicans. So do they want to continue fighting and contesting every election they lose, which is being a sore loser, and I tell my kids not to do that, or do they want to look at their party and have a come to Jesus moment, if you will, and say, what do we need to do to change going forward? Bill, internal polling by Republicans showed that up until Josh Hawley said that he was going to contest, and he started to gather all of these people in the House and then the Senate. Republicans were looking pretty good and strong, despite how tight these races were in Georgia. Republicans know that, and this is a reality. I want to quote Liz Cheney, because she tweeted something beautiful this morning. We have sworn an oath under God to defend the Constitution. We uphold that oath at all times, not only when it is politically convenient. Congress has no authority to overturn elections by objecting to electors. Doing so steals power from the states and violates the Constitution. 2 + 2 is 4. There was no election fraud. The Attorney General said so. 50 states and 50 governors said so. Homeland Security, the FEC, and numerous court cases. It's over.
We'll see what the president has to say about all that moments away from now. Leslie, thank you. Guy, thanks to you as well. More coming up with you all later.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.